Chris Finley here. So welcome to this free training. There is this amazing seabird just there. I have to show you guys. I know it's off topic, but he is huge. Amazing. So look, you are about to see a free training session from inside the Client Stream Implementation Program. Now, this is one of many group calls that we do every single week where we all get together and we dive into everyone's businesses. Now, of course, these are my clients and everybody's doing different businesses. So at any point along the way, if you are on a topic that is not super applicable to you, just skip forward a bit, right? Because it's a full coaching session. I've chopped it down from about an hour and a half to just under an hour. But look, everything should be applicable because what we do is we break everything down to principles so we can all learn and we can all grow from it. But look, if at any point along the way it's not resonating, just skip forward a little bit because there's so much stuff in there. There's so much different stuff that we cover, such as marketing principles, strategy, some different things that are working really well at the moment. We talk about leverage, right? Creating leverage in your business so you can free up more time and energy so you can focus on the front, marketing, sales, on the big stuff that brings in the cash, right? We also talk about hero's journey. So there's a guy, Matt, in the program, and Matt has scaled and automated his e-commerce business, right? And now he wants to grow his personal brand. But the thing is, he doesn't know exactly which direction to take. So what we're diving into is his hero's journey. We're trying to figure out what is the best path that is in alignment with his head, that has his head and his heart in alignment, right? Because that is the true key to creating an amazing, powerful business to move forward with. Okay, so he's got marketing skills, sales skills. He's obviously got the e-commerce that he's scaled. So we're trying to figure out what the best angle is for him to go in at, right? So yeah, enjoy it. I apologize for the swear words. I got super into these coaching sessions, so sorry about the F words and the S words, but I hope it increases the energy and intensity just a little bit. Okay, so enjoy and take care.
Really, really grateful and happy for that.
Great, I can see your excitement, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think just there to dive in a little bit on top of what Henrik's saying, I think, Matt, one thing that he's really grasped very well is, I think, Henrik, you were doing a lot of work one-on-one with people. You're repeating yourself very, very frequently, right? So
Yeah.
You're constantly giving the same lesson over and over again. You're basically selling your time and you're doing the same thing over and over again. So what we've been talking about is how you can actually create a bit more leverage. So if you can actually put all of your IP, your intellectual property, into a course, okay, so you can educate someone everything they need to know, and it frees up your time then, okay? And then beyond that, it's also putting people into groups. So moving away from the one-on-one coaching and coaching people together, because then you can hit 5 birds with 1 stone, again, freeing up your time, okay? And then if somebody wants to come and see Henrik one-on-one, right, the fucking, whoever wants to get the real shit, they pay top dollar because he's exclusive. It's like, so you can get access to all of this stuff here and boom, boom, boom. But if you want to come see me, it's gonna be top dollar, okay? And that is going to increase authority, and that's going to increase scarcity, and that's going to make more people want to work with them. And at the same time, with the info product and with the group classes, there's more impact that way. So you can affect more people, right? You can actually spread your influence further and farther. If that makes sense. Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Cool. So this is this idea of leverage, okay? We're increasing influence, we're increasing impact, but we're also leveraging our time and energy, so we can go and read more and create more, right?
Yeah.
And we can also focus more on marketing and sales and bringing in more people, okay? So it's all this expansion. Cool. Now, Matt, this little hero's journey piece, I think, is a good little one, which is pretty exciting. So you have some nice little points that you put in there. But what I'd like to really kind of get clear on is the kind of sequence of events, because you'll notice every Hollywood movie, and when you guys get into module 5 and module 6, is going to be a bit of reading, and there's going to be a bit more work on this. This is going to be super powerful for you, Henrik, as well, when it comes to your online marketing. We're going to dive into this idea of the hero's journey, okay? Now the hero's journey is basically the like archetypal human journey or the human story. So you've got yourself or the hero up here, and this is the known world, okay? And then generally what happens is the hero will cross from the known world to the unknown world. And he will start to descend down to what's called the abyss. All right. And in the abyss, you'll have a transformation, come back up with the boon, with the realization, and he'll move back from the unknown world to the known world, and he'll share that message with the world to help. Okay. But there's a couple of events that happen very, very sequentially, textbook, and you'll see it in a lot of movies, The Lion King, Star Wars, you'll see it in Aladdin, you'll see it in a lot of these big blockbuster films. They all follow the same sequence of events. So typically in the beginning, the hero is something not quite right. So he has what's known as a call to adventure. Okay. So there's some yearning, there's something that's not quite right. Okay. So for whatever reason, he's being pulled to change. Okay. And this is such is he steps into the unknown world. Right. When he steps into the unknown world, generally there's a bit of a descension process. Okay. So there's a coming down, right? Now it doesn't always have to be moving down into like total darkness, but there's a lot of change. There's a lot of things happening. So he meets trials, tribulations, okay? And he generally descends down to this abyss, and the abyss is basically his breaking point where he meets himself, or he meets whatever thing that he really needs to face. So in The Lion King, this is when Simba, right? So the little baboon guy, I can't remember his name, he comes in, he's like, Simba, follow me. And Simba runs through the jungle after this baboon guy is jumping around the trees, and he brings him to the lake. And Simba, right, he looks in the lake and he sees that actually he is his father, and his father is actually alive in him, right? So he was lost and, you know, confused in this unknown world, and all of a sudden he sees that he's actually the lion, he's actually the thing, he's actually the beast. And he realizes then and there, he's like, holy shit, I have to go back. I have to go back with the boon, right? I have to go back with this realization that I am actually my father, and I can actually go and lead and be the king, and I can save everyone, right? So he has the boon, right? But there's a really important piece here that's happened, okay? So Simba has met the mentor. Now, this is a very archetypal thing that happens throughout history. Like, there's a mentor involved, right? So Plato had Socrates. Socrates died. Plato found Pythagoras, okay? And then Plato went on to mentor Aristotle, who went on to mentor Alexander the Great. You know, it's like there's typically in a transformative point in someone's life, generally there's some form of a mentor figure steps in. Now, it's not always a physical mentor who literally is there, like, you know, like a wise old Yoda. It can be in the form of a thought or a book or an inspiration, right? So, so typically the mentor steps in at the right time and he gives the hero what he needs, what he sees the hero needs to get the boon. To get the boon is the thing that he realizes, right? So once he has the boon, he then starts to ascend back up, okay? But it's not done yet, okay? So he's realized the thing, but he still has to come back to the known world. And you see this now when you start to look at what we're doing, okay? So stepping into the limelight, stepping into this online world, okay? Starting to share your message, starting to share your boon, okay? Starting to share your ideas of holistic health, Henrik, starting to share your stories, Matt, about the things that you've gone through, whether it's voice stuff, whether it's wrist stuff, whatever it happens to be. Crossing back to the known world is scary because everybody who's out there has ideas, they have impressions about who you are, okay? And all of a sudden, you're different, you're transformed, you're a little bit changed, and you're coming back now with a new message, right? So a lot of the time people struggle here, okay? And then, you know, me, myself in the past, I was like, I did brands. I wanted to sell e-commerce products because then I didn't have to speak on camera. I didn't have to do anything like that, right? But, you know, ultimately I was led to the point that where I had to start speaking. I had to start doing something. And here's the trick. The way past this, when it gets scary, right? The way to get over this is you have to start to think about who needs your help, okay? Who's the person that needs the information that you found? Okay. So in other words, who is the hero that's currently down here that you can become the mentor for? Okay. So this is the cycle of the hero. He goes down, comes back, he shares the boon, and he becomes the mentor for the hero that's currently going through the same problems that he went through. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of key points here, Matt. There's the dissatisfaction or whatever in the beginning, or there's some yearning for something to change in some way, or there's some desire to adventure, call to adventure, right? And then there's trials, tribulations, there's the abyss, there's the mentor, there's the idea, and then there's the coming back with the boon. So if I was to ask you on your jiu-jitsu product or on anything that's coming up for you right now, can you fill in the pieces to the puzzle here?
Yeah, I'll have for certain elements. I'll definitely have to think a little bit further.
Yeah.
Regards to maybe the call to action could be sometimes I suppose it might be forced upon you. So it could have been an event, right? So in the case that like I was always into sports, then I had a pretty devastating wrist injury. I was told that, you know, in future this could lead to the end of any sporting endeavors at all. And then at a later stage, when I got into jiu-jitsu, that became a huge concern, and I realized that just kind of one-dimensional sort of standard gym training, just lifting and stuff, wasn't going to provide me with a long and fruitful career in sports and even just in health.
Yep.
That would be the descent, I suppose, into the unknown. In terms of finding mentors, I'll have to think about
What was the lowest point in this journey, Matt? What was the worst moment?
Well, for sure, breaking my wrist for sure, and being kind of like unable to do any activity for would have been a month and a half, breaking my wrist, and then still having like cricks and cracks and pops and things, and then even doing jiu-jitsu recently, having like pains. I
Yep.
even remember actually after breaking my wrist and getting back into the gym, having like really throbbing forearm pain, like pain deep in my forearm. I'm only actually thinking about this again now. It would have been years ago. But like then just always having that in the back of my mind that like sports combined with typing at a computer all day, as the doctor had said, like eventually my wrist can potentially just give out, you know.
Mm-hmm. And what do you feel about that? Do you think that's true or no?
Yeah, well, it is true. It's just a lot of this happened over a pretty long period of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you see your wrist solution as being the ultimate solution or just something that can help a little bit?
One thing, but yeah, you definitely need to take a 360 approach, and that's kind of is what I want to get to in terms of product line, both product and physical product,
Yep.
and then educational product as well in terms of a digital product or a series.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I see here, okay, just springing to mind now from a marketing perspective, first thing you want to kind of do with someone is you want to build rapport. So they want to be able to resonate with the character in the story. So this is your story, right? So the idea that like, oh, I was always a sporty kid. I was always really into sports. Always loved it. I was this kind of whippersnapper of a kid, you know. Someone's like, oh yeah, cool, like Johnny down the road, or like me, or like whatever. Okay, I get you. You're one of these kind of guys. Okay, and then, you know, all of a sudden I broke my wrist, and I didn't know what to do. So this was you crossing from the known world into the unknown world. Everything was grand, everything was normal, and then I crossed into the unknown. Okay. And then you see what really kind of is like bang is the transformation with this stuff. And this may not be your ultimate hero's journey, you know, and you don't need to just have one. You can have multiple hero's
Yeah,
journeys. They can interweave, and some can be small and some can be massive arcs of your life, right?
exactly. Like I can see how
Yeah.
for other aspects of life, like totally sinks in perfectly. Like
Yeah, nice, nice. So generally, what's happening at the abyss is you're meeting the confrontation. You know, you're in it. You're fucking in the fire. Okay, and something that's down there is like, you know, the doctor saying to you, your wrist is never ever going to be the same. You are never ever going to be able to perform at that high level. Okay, so this is done for you. Right now, I'm not saying say this, but I'm trying to give you an
yeah,
example of something that might go bang. You're like, oh, but then here's what happens. But then I went and I started doing research and I came across this product. Not only that, did I started to get into holistic health and I started understanding this and I started doing this and I took this course and became educated. And before you know it, my wrist started to feel better and I started to get stronger. And now all of a sudden, I have found this approach, right? And this is you having the realization, okay, here, and then starting to move back up, okay? Um, and I don't know where the mentor piece comes in, but it can just come in the idea of an idea or a book or a course or somebody that came in. For me, one little arc of mine was Paul Chek, who came in with the 4 doctor system. And I was like, bang, that's what I need to cure my fatigue, right? Um, and then you move up and you're like, look, I fucking have the boon. I have the thing. So for all you guys that are having wrist problems and wrist injuries, look, this is the approach. It's this thing, it's this, and it's this course for whatever reason. So it's like a realization and it's coming and it's like, here it is. Here's the boon. Sharing it with the world and helping somebody else who's going through that struggle. Does that make sense?
yeah. Like it makes a lot of sense. For example, like I can think of other applications for it as well, just with things that I don't yet have. I suppose like a product to sell on. Like I'm not sure if I said to you, like I have or had dyslexia, like
Yep.
so as a kid in school, I didn't do Irish, for example. When it came to secondary school, I had the decision whether or not to do Spanish. Chose to do it, but I always had these like limiting beliefs about, oh, you have dyslexia, you can't learn a language. Um, Kind of going along then at some stage, so I had really in the dark, really struggling with it all. And then at one stage, I come across Tim Ferriss had a piece about like basically mastering languages or how to learn a language in insane short period of time. And it was all about like meta learning. Um, Fast forward today, I'm basically fluent in Spanish, learning Italian, learning Portuguese. But more importantly, that meta learning concept allows you to break anything down, identify what's most important, go full on in that, and yeah, can be applied to anything. So like I can conceptually, with a lot of other things, see how powerful this is.
Powerful. And also in there, even throwing in a bit at the end, like, you know, like fast forward today, I speak Spanish, I speak Italian, I'm learning French, you know, and all of this flies in the face of all of that bullshit that they teach you in school. That there's only one way to learn. And that the idea that because you're dyslexic or because you have something, therefore you are not worthy or you can't do this or you can't do that.
Yeah,
Okay. You know, even like boom, like emphasizing that kind of like, you know,
exactly. So on all the personal brand stuff that we've spoken about, kind of just briefly, which
yeah.
I actually intend to kind of merge with the e-commerce, like in say mentoring on e-commerce or
Mm.
whatever. Yeah, that would be a feature of the storytelling for sure.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. So is that what you're thinking? A bit of mentoring with e-commerce, is it?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. There's a few roadblocks, not even roadblocks because they're kind of overcome now. I mean, all the elements are in place to really start ramping up to the revenue that I said earlier.
Yeah.
Once we're at that stage, like yeah, I feel totally comfortable, really well and truly kind of branding myself as like an expert.
Well, I think there could be a big a big beast, man. A big, like, I know this guy. Are you familiar with him? He's called Sebastian something. He's from Costa Rica. You ever seen that?
Yeah, like Latino American guy.
Yeah, yeah. He speaks good English though. He's like Costa Rican.
I thought he was. I thought he was from Florida or lived in Florida or something. I think I've seen the guy before. Yeah.
Yeah. So he moved away from drop shipping to branded e-commerce.
Yeah.
And I think drop shipping personally is fucking dead in the water from what I can see.
Yeah.
Um, and but there was hundreds of thousands of young lads moving into it, like fucking hundreds of thousands,
Yeah.
like it was insane. So there could be a huge piece in transitioning those guys from drop shipping into branded e-commerce and having them understand their hero's journey and having them understand a bit of marketing and understand a bit of a piece, right? You know, a bit of like look, you know, like I tried drop shipping for 2 years, didn't work. Why? Because my heart wasn't in it, because I didn't give a fuck about it, because I wasn't serving people, because I wasn't helping anyone, because I didn't care about it. It wasn't connected to the message. So if you think that you can go and build a brand that's going to serve you for the rest of your life, you have to get up every single day for the rest of your life and evolve with the industry and work with that and understand it deeply. Do you really think that you're going to be able to do that? So here's what I figured out. I figured out that I care deeply about helping people with their health. And I had a pretty poor wrist injury and I had a really dark moment. And I came across this thing. I came across this and I found a way to blend my marketing, my intelligence, all the things that I was learning with something that I cared about. And because of that, I was able to create something that I was super passionate about, that I was super motivated about, that I was able to work at day in, day out for the rest of my life. Right. And today I built that brand to this. And I now work with professional jiu-jitsu athletes. I now work with these guys. I now work with these guys. And I do this kind of revenue every single month on autopilot. Why? Not because I learned how to do some dropship and bullshit model, but because I actually used my heart and I used something that I cared about and I blended it all together. I understood what I was doing. And because of that, I get to live a pretty fucking cool life today. So how about that for a piece?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice. Nice. Did you start off in drop shipping at all?
Yeah, I did. So that actually, that's basically bang on, actually.
Yeah. 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 Dude, there's a lot of guys, man. You see those guys online, they're fucking 18, 19, 20, 21. Only thing is, they don't have as much money. But it doesn't mean you can't do stuff with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Doesn't mean you can't create a course. Doesn't mean you can't sell a course for a couple $100, you know?
Yeah, for example, I think actually you'll probably be able to better tell me, but like RSD's key audience, I think, is that age demographic, right? So
Yeah, I think so. I think guys in their 20s, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. It is interesting. You see, but what they're doing, see, with young guys, this is a big learning thing, and this is a big one for you, Henrik, as well. So there is health, wealth, and relationships, right? This is what most of us want, really. Health, wealth, and relationships. And when you look at Seed of Life, which you guys have both seen, this is health, right? Mental and physical health. Okay. This is relationships. And this is wealth. This is what people are interested in. Okay. They're interested in increasing these. But Henrik, they're more interested, right? Not what they need. Quite often they need this. Okay. But they're more interested. They'll go for the bite easier at this, right? And at this. Okay. So for you, Henrik, you are going to need to learn how to show someone, okay, so this is holistic health. Now, here are going to be the benefits. You're going to have so much more energy, and you can actually ask people, like, if you have this much more energy, if you have this much more time, if you have this much more calm of mind and flow state and stuff, what's that going to mean for your career? What's that going to mean for how much money you make? What's that going to mean for your relationships? What's that going to mean for you picking up girls? Okay, because people are like the very obvious things like, what do you want? Sex and money, you know? Like it's like, you know? And like, yeah, people want a fucking hot body or whatever, but they mostly want the hot body to get more sex, right? You know? So, but you can do health on its own. A lot of people are fucking health junkies as well, for sure. But if you can emphasize those two, it's even more powerful, even more powerful. If you are going for those guys, right, the younger guys, then you have to find a way to make that very clear, right? How to add an extra 5K to your monthly revenue, which you're on autopilot with your e-commerce business or whatever. Now, you don't have to be like totally like that, like at all. You see the guys that do that, like Lambos and all that shit. That shit's dead in the water as well. That's really inauthentic and it's gone really shitty. But if you can weave into your marketing how you are going to get monetary benefit for this, it's a lot more effective. Because when it comes to somebody making a decision, okay, if it's their health, right, they're like, yeah, I could use more holistic health, I could use more energy. But when it comes to the wealth, look, your income is going to change from $2,000 per month to $7,000 per month. Now, will you pay this $500 to give yourself an extra $5,000? You know, do you want to put in $1 and take out 10? You know, everyone's like, yeah, obviously, of course. You know, it's just no brainer. You know, the guy who's totally single, do you want a girlfriend? Do you want to procreate? You know, do you want a relationship versus not having one? Yes, then you need this thing, right? So yeah, does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Now, Matt, have you looked a little bit at these models at all here? Have you seen these?
I on our call in the course, I haven't got to it yet.
Okay. Well, look, that's something very powerful to think about, because look, it seems like what you're building with this e-commerce thing is something that's going to be more or less automated. That's not going to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, which is awesome. But like, if you have that success, you have an automated thing that's not taking any time to run it, that's very powerful. So you just teaching someone how to do that is also very powerful, and there's a lot of value in that. Okay. So what you could look at and consider then is something like a done with you model, right? For drop shippers. Okay. Like here's how to transition into branded e-commerce. Here's how to do something that is really going to work moving forward into 2020, because that shit is dead essentially. And you can create a course, you can do a coaching thing. You can get people in once a month, once a week, or whatever it is, twice a week if they can afford it, and do that with them. You know, and I don't think it just has to be the young guys. Like, I think there's a lot of people interested in Amazon stuff. There's a lot of people interested in any kind of way they can automate something. And people are just interested in physical products in general, in making stores and whatnot, you know, I think. Like, I sent out a little ad to Ireland just to test the water with some business stuff. And it was a really random ad. And what I really wanted to get is more people that are interested in setting up online businesses. But what a ton of people came through was a lot of brick and mortar businesses. So I had people sending me their little like arts and crafts and their little candle things that they're working on, beeswax stuff. And they're like, how can I sell this? How do I do this? I'm like, well, look, I don't really work with that stuff, but I'll tell you, fucking Shopify store and Facebook ads, do that, you know? Like, so I think there is a big market for people that want to build something physical. So it could be a good angle to go in at, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't have to limit yourself, man. Ready, fire, aim. You test the water. You know, you just fucking see what's out there. You just cast out the fishing net, see what comes back, get that primary data. And if you're go, then you build on that. If not, you fucking go to more marketing agency route. You know what I mean? Make sense?
Totally.
Sick. Cool, man. Henrik, my brother, what's springing to mind for you when we're talking about these different concepts here?
First of all, it was the hero's journey. Heard about the concept before, so but now it's much more clear with the abyss, where it's changed for me. so just went through that first. But today I don't feel like I have so many questions. More like I just want to continue and work where I left off.
Yep.
One thing I have in mind is the course, or if I should do it in English or if I should stay in Scandinavian Norwegian.
Yep.
Norwegian. So maybe in the future.
Yeah. Well, look, dude, this is the first course is probably like you're going to create it and then you're going to want to come back to it anyway, you know, like it's just natural. So, and again, in the beginning, we want to get really used to this, explaining things and being on camera and doing this stuff. So you don't want to be skipping what's the word for that? Fuck, hang on a second. Let me check the dictionary. You know, in the beginning, maybe it's easier to get some stuff off the ground in Norwegian and then come back to it with English, you know?
Yeah.
Might be easier for you.
And it's more authentic as well.
Yeah. Well, you know, you've got Danish and Swedish people basically speak the same language, right? It's very, very similar.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like Irish and English. No, it's not the same.
Okay.
But Norwegians understand both, but they don't. So, nah.
Okay. All right. Shit. Well, I don't know.
Shit.
I notice you Norwegians, you're always a bit more fucking charmed than the Swedish, who are just like, maybe you can get them in. Don't tell Christian I said that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We hear that.
Yeah. All right, that sounds good, man. Sounds good. Yeah, all right, dude. Cool, man. Nice one. Yeah, we'll get into the hero's journey in, I think, module 5 or module 6. And there's a couple of books on it. They're not even designed for marketing. Like the main book that I'm going to have you guys read is called The Hero's 2 Journeys. You don't need to do that just yet, but when you get to it in the course. But it's actually a screenwriter's book. It's an amazing lecture. It's about 3-4 hours on Audible. You can get it. And it's like so powerful. It's what they teach the screenwriters in Hollywood, how to structure the sequences of your movie, which is crazy. And when you apply it to marketing, people are just like, oh, you know, they're like, oh, that emotion. And, you know, it's the archetypal human journey is the hero's journey, right? So it's like, this is what everyone's going through in their life. So when you speak, I had this thing and I had this yearning to do something else. People resonate with that. And then by going down and being like, I had this fucking awful thing that happened to me and it was the bottom of the fucking pit. People are like, wow, he's being open and vulnerable and I can feel that. And then, but I realized this thing. Oh, cool, right? He fucking transformed and now I'm here and now here's the thing. So people are like, wow, you know, it's literally the reason 70% of Hollywood movies follow this fucking journey is because people resonate with it. It just works. It's just the human journey. It's just what we're all going through all of the time. You know, it's just order and chaos, as Jordan Peterson would say, you know. And the more vulnerable you can be, the more open you can be, like the deeper people are going to resonate and connect with you. And it's what builds trust, right? So this idea that this leader, okay, is this fucking, like, who are the good leaders? Are they the ones that are fucking perfect? Nah, they're the ones that fucking own their shadow, right? They're the ones that have been through the wars, that are like, you know, have been down in the abyss and they're like wounded, but they come back. So think of Jordan Peterson, right? The whole world looking at this guy. You know, he's like a massive leader. He's fucking really integrated his darkness. Like he's really been down there and explored those demons. Okay. So the deeper you can be open and vulnerable about this kind of stuff is what really connects people to you. And when it comes to selling high ticket, the number one thing is trust. Okay. Like that's the big thing is the person is really going to need to trust you if you want to move forward together, you know? So and look, beyond that, you know, it may sound like, oh, you're using this to get someone in, you know, and you are, but all you're really doing actually is, the funny thing is, you're being more authentic. You're being more open. You're just pushing yourself to be that little bit more vulnerable. And in turn, it's more real. And that's why people come in more. Okay. So it's kind of cutting away from this whole, I'm perfect, I'm fucking Instagram, Lamborghinis. Yeah, I've never had a negative thought in my life, you know, so fucking come and buy my course. It's like, nah, It's like, who the fuck? Nobody's like that. Everyone's dealing with shit. Everyone's got problems. So, yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool. Sweet. Any questions there, Matt? Any ideas you're coming up with or anything?
Yeah, all sorts of thoughts firing off, but like even just I'd never seen, to be fair, I'd never seen the hero's journey applied to marketing. I've heard
Almost like his weaknesses, because I want to see that he's vulnerable as well, but I can't see it because it's just power.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't buy it, the whole stuff, because I want to see the person, not just the product, because definitely his product will work, but I don't buy it.
What you've noticed is he's entering, okay? So as I said, you will see him ice and you'll get offered an ebook. And when you subscribe to that ebook, okay, you will see a video.
Yeah.
And within 2.5 minutes of seeing that video, he will pitch you onto a call, okay? So what that is a very hot offer to someone that is barely here. They're barely cold, right? They're definitely not warm. Now you see, transitioning from ice to cold to warm is not necessarily about points of contact. They can come into it, points of contact. But the key here is just like this at the gym, time under tension is the most important factor, right? So here, is that correct?
Yeah, I hear you.
This is about time and consumption.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the ice level, you're maybe like up to 5 minutes. Okay? And at the warm, you're like up to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And when you're getting into making a hot offer, you want that person ideally to have seen 20 minutes or more of your content. All right?
Yeah.
That's how long it's taken to build rapport.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's making that offer here, that's why you're not ready for it. Okay? You know? And I know you've gone through this exact model with him, but that could be perceived as a mistake. But at the same time, he is leaning on his power. So here's $100 million. You know, here is a gazillion fucking case studies. You know, this is the way. He has got to that level of authority where he can leverage his power. So if you see online now, Tony Robbins, your man Graziosi, and Russell Brunson are all in together selling the knowledge business, right? It's nothing new. You know, these guys are just like, what if we put our 3 faces on an ad, it's just going to fucking sell. You know, we don't have to do much else. You know, we're just going to leverage this power, you know. But for every other human in the world, you know, you can, the more case studies you have, the more examples you have, you beef it up, right? You beef it up. But in general, what's really going to drive that trust, right, based on where we're at, is more of your story. Your story is the power, okay? So your ability to be real, to be authentic, to be raw, okay? Yeah. Makes sense?
I definitely see it. Yeah. Nice. I see both sides.
Yeah. And then on this mark, right, as soon as somebody has seen 20 minutes of your content, by the time they come to make a call with you, you don't have to pitch. You don't have to explain so much because they are aware, right, of the solution. They're solution aware. So they understand you, right? They know what you offer. And now the amazing thing is you can make the call about them. You can ask them questions. Hey, what do you think about this? What's going on with this? Where are you going? Where are you doing? And the power in all of this always comes from the person who's asking questions, when you don't need to explain yourself, when you don't need to sell yourself. You ask questions and you let the person sell themselves. Make sense? Very powerful. Very powerful. And it's win-win. Win-win. You know, there's no tricks here. There's understanding how psychology works. There's understanding psychology and influence, but that's not tricks. That's just being educated in psychology and how it works. Right?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Nice. Juicy stuff. Cool. Matt, where were we, brother? What were we talking about? You were having some ideas there.
Yeah, well, firstly, great to come back and see this. This was great as well. So I like the analogy, time under tension as well. So time and consumption.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it, but like leading to trust, right? Because
Yeah.
you said earlier on, trust with high ticket is the most important thing, right?
Known, liked, and trusted. 3 factors.
Cool. Yeah, in regards to the hero's journey, I was just saying that how basically it's like a full sale. It's like all of the sales concepts basically encapsulated in one kind of archetype that we see everywhere. Like almost every salesperson, whether they're a copywriter or selling on the phone, they say to meet the prospect where they're at.
Mhm.
You know, so you're not if the prospect's not driving Lamborghinis, you know, you're not driving Lamborghinis, or at least that's not like where how you're entering. You're trying to meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
So with the hero's journey, you're starting off in basically where they currently are, and then from there, when you're starting to come outwards, and you're coming out of the dark, and you have the boon, as you said, and that's kind of like future pacing, you know, which Jordan Belfort and all of the greatest copywriters and salespeople all talk about.
You see the power of this done with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Or,
absolutely.
done for you as well. Building funnels for people, doing their ads, but it's less leverage, man. That's eating up all your time. You see, the game me and Henrik are playing here hard is how do we, and you're doing it too with the e-commerce, automate, how do you leverage yourself, So this done with you is the most highly leveraged thing, but it's a model of educating people, bringing them from where they are now to where they want to go. So whether that's from nothing to a branded e-commerce product, or whether that is from not knowing anything about ads and sales to being very proficient at ads and sales. Sales is a very, very powerful thing too, to be able to coach people in, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. You are literally on your CV, Google, and what was the company you worked at before?
Google basically.
Okay, well, you're a Google fucking salesperson, like that's an authority piece, right? Yeah. Marketing, copywriting, greasy slide, a lot in there. Blend it all in there, right? Get somebody off the ground. Powerful. You could charge 3K for that. 6 months. Course. Once a week phone calls. Definitely doable. Basically, if you run a kind of business where you're nagging, you're pushing other people down to big up what you're doing, okay? It can sell, but if you're doing something where you're attracting clients, you're going to attract the type of people that are attracted to that type of thinking, that way of being. So if you're doing something in your marketing where you're pushing down to big yourself up, you're going to attract shitty people. So look, maybe Elliot Holtz, I don't sense he's that bad on camera. He doesn't diss people too much, but in his marketing, he does it a little bit. But he's only ever pushing products. He's not actually doing one-to-one coaching. So I guess he's just going with what sells,
Yeah.
That's another thing.
I have the same feeling as well.
So when you do create your ebook, it should be based around a big idea. Because your big idea, as you see here, is the centerpiece to the business. Okay. So whatever your thing is going to be, like this is Paul Check, right? This is quiet, diet, movement, happiness. Okay. Very simple. So whatever yours is going to be, I know you're playing around with some different things, and the content is up there now. I just finished module 4, so I just uploaded it before this call. So whenever you get to that, that you're going to want to do that stuff before you do the ebook for sure.
Yeah. And really inspired by Paul Check as well, to putting something into 4 doctors, but then again, combining everything from Joe Dispenza to John DeMartini and mixing into one system.
Yeah. Paul Check, another master. Both you guys should hop on his emails, Check Institute. So
yeah,
I
have a friend that's down now in Singapore doing his course. 5 years.
But what people don't realize about Paul Check is, the guy's read so many fucking books, but he's also a marketer. Like, he knows how to do it. Like, and that's, he's a holistic health guru, but he fucking, man, like he has read all the copywriting books. He knows how to do it, like seriously, and he does things that are very, very advanced. So I watched the piece the other day. I'll see if I can track it down for you. And basically, what he does is he just starts talking about Hippocrates. Okay, so Hippocrates talked about the three merry men: quiet, happiness, and diet. Okay, and this is supposedly where he got his idea, and he added movement on. He said, movement was a problem back in the day because people always moved. But you see what he's doing when he says, I took these ideas from Hippocrates and I expanded on this. So now he's putting Hippocrates here. He's also putting himself here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that doing? Now, the person who's on the receiving end of that is associating Paul Chek and Hippocrates, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, fucking hell. So he's standing on the shoulders of giants. That's where this comes from. Look, read some Da Vinci. Start talking about his ideas. People are going to go, oh, fucking this guy's reading Da Vinci. He's fucking creating his own ideas around Da Vinci. Like, Jesus. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Furthermore, when you can show people what their real fucking problem is, you empathize with them, the pains, and then you're like, look, here's the actual problem. And you show them something that they don't realize, and they go, oh,
yeah.
they are just putting you up on this pedestal. They are just putting you at a higher place in the social world than they are, and they will unconsciously just let you lead. And to the degree that they will be led is to the degree that they will purchase.
Yeah.
Paul Chek's a master at that. Master. And like even the piece the other day I saw, he's like Hippocrates and these ideas, and now there's all these different holistic health systems around the world. There's Reiki, there's this, there's that. And he's talking about all these different things, right? And he's painting this huge vision for changing the whole world, right? I want to change the whole world. We're going to build this tribe, okay, of holistic health individuals that are going to change the world. And within 5-6 years, we can do everything. So another thing, people follow the guy with the biggest vision. So who has the biggest vision? Why does everybody like Elon Musk? Because he talks about sending fucking rocket ships to Mars, That's why people are like, let's follow this guy, So it's like, big vision, fucking stand on the shoulder of giants, put yourself up there, put yourself in with these people, and gonna fucking kill it, man. Kill it.
Yes.
Yeah. Good shit. Sick. All right. Have you guys got enough juicy stuff there for one day?
That's a lot there.
Yeah. I'll pop the recording up so you guys all have it anyway. And, if you want to watch
it. It's really nice to go back to and look at the recording.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just for I really like to have something to really focus on to the next meeting or to next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Do you see anything specific, like this is what you prioritize now? Like everything from in the course to this is the first step to start here?
Yeah. Have you shared anything yet online? Have you ever shared a video online?
Not just me talking, no.
Okay. Just try it. Try it. Try just dipping your toes in that water. It's good to start now because it's always a process. So the sooner you can start doing it, you're only going to get better. You're only going to get better. Yep. So work on a little piece and pop it into the messenger group.
Well, no pressure.
Does it sound good? Sound like a good little task?
Yeah, you would understand the Norwegian, so that would be perfect.
It's all good. As long as we can see some biceps in there, like,
Oh, you guarantee that. Nice.
It's sick. Anything else there, Matt? You all good, brother?
Yeah, everything sounds great. Like I think if any direction similar, anything you think I should focus my energies on.
Because basically what I perceive is you're doing this e-commerce thing. It's going to automate, okay? You're creating it, but there's so much more value, like we're touching on here. There's sales, there's marketing, there's e-commerce, okay? There is confidence, there's self-development, there is dyslexia. There's a big piece for a personal brand, big piece, okay? So I think really about the two things you have to consider, right? One is what we talked about with an angle that somebody is going to go for, right? So how can you improve their wealth? Obvious thing. Okay. So there's that side of it. So you want to think about an angle or their relationships or their health as well, or all three. But you don't want to go too broad, right? You want to keep it somewhat concise. So there's thinking of that angle, but also thinking, what do I really want to do? What do I want to give? What wants to come out of me? Who do I want to serve? Who do I want to help? What do I see myself doing? Right? And I think this kind of comes back to that kind of Joe Dispenza vision stuff, right? What are you saying when you're up on stage in 15 years? Who are you speaking to? What are you talking about? Right? Who are the people you're affecting, right? What really gets your juices flowing? Or maybe it's not being on stage. Maybe it's one-on-one. Maybe it's deep connection with someone, right? So trying to think, because there's so much potential there, thinking about what is it that I really want to do? Who do I really want to serve? How's that sound?
Yeah, good.
Cool. Did I send you the Joe Dispenza book or the audio?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Just playing around with visualization, because what you do with visualization is, if you can do it right, you're changing the body. So you're eliciting emotion in the body, okay? Right, which is the subconscious. And then when you go about your day, okay, that body that's been shifted, the subconscious has been shifted, now triggers new thoughts, new ideas to the conscious mind. So when you do a good Joe Dispenza right in the morning, when you do a good visualization right, and you trigger the emotions, right, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this fucking thought comes and you're like, do that. Like, how powerful is that idea? How about that? You know, and the other thing is, which I don't understand as much, is this reticular activation system in your brain is looking around and you're like, yeah, bang on, you know? So, you know, it might be law of attraction, maybe it's just science, I don't fucking know. But by doing that in the beginning, right, the gratitude, the eliciting the emotion in the body, the visualization, all these things bring you there very, very quickly if you can do them right. So, bit of that stuff, man. Bit of that Joe Dispenza, bit of reading, some stuff on purpose, maybe. Yeah. Joe, who's actually kind of good, who it springs to mind, Jay Shetty has a podcast. Do you like him at all? Have you ever seen him?
I've seen ads and stuff of his, or like kind of featured on other people's stuff. I've seen like some snippets and things.
He's all right. Like, he's a kind of cool dude. Like, he's got a very simple podcast. Very simple podcast. It's mostly about purpose. Listen to a few episodes. Found it quite nice. Found it quite nice to listen to. If you want to check that out. Yeah. He's also, for a guy who's a monk, he's learned how to fucking market, and that's why he's doing so well, because he learned that. Worked at marketing agency, you know. It's like fucking Elliot Holtz learned how to market, Paul Check learned how to market, Tony Robbins learned how to market. All these spiritual gurus that people are like, wow, they're fucking marketers, like. Yeah. So. Yeah. Cool.
Good. Thank you so much, Chris.
Absolute pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure.
Hey, thank you for watching that training. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value. Now, look, if you like what we're doing here inside Client Stream, it resonates with you, you like the message, you like what we're doing, getting together here like a group every single week and diving into everyone's business and coming up with an amazing plan of action for the week moving forward. You can see how powerful that is, right? When you do that over 6 months, the same group getting together, vibing, talking, deep diving into everyone's business, breaking it all down into principles so we can make it applicable to everyone, okay? Beyond that, we're always in a group chat, talking, sharing all the latest ideas, strategies, tricks, tips, looking at all the different ads, what's going on, what's working really well. It's so powerful, right? Imagine doing this for 6 months, okay? It's crazy how much you grow, how much your business can grow, okay? So if you like this, if you like what we are doing, then the next step for you would be to book in a quick call with one of my team members, okay? And come in for a quick chat. Now, there's no obligations on this call whatsoever, okay? This is about you and your business. What we'll do is we'll take a deep dive into your strategy, into your sales, into your marketing. We'll take a look at you and your hero's journey, your story, okay? Why you're doing what you're doing, okay? And really what we want to see on this call is if you are the right fit for the program, if you are the right type of person that would really do amazing things inside the client stream implementation program, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people to absolutely kill it, to absolutely crush it, to be an amazing case study for us and our business and our team, okay? And someone that can really add a lot of value into what we're doing here, and a lot of energy too, okay? So I know that's a lot to ask, but if you resonate, okay, if this hits something with you, okay, and you like it, then all you got to do is book in a quick call. Now, like I said, there's no obligations on this call, but if you don't book in that call, we are never ever going to know if we're a good fit for each other, and we're never ever going to know if it could have been, okay? So like I said, finally, if you have a message, if you want to do that amazing thing, if you are really here to align your business to a deeper sense of purpose and do something great in this world, then please book in the call, because I would love to meet you, my friend, and I would love to take a deep dive into you and your business and see what you're about. Okay? Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the call. Bye.